Alright, welcome back to Bloodborne. Not too much to do right now outside of defeating the Orphan of Kos. We'll see what we do. In the meantime, we'll try to catch on health.
What are you wearing?
Alright, well, you don't notice I'm wearing for a couple of the previous streams, to be fair.
I haven't noticed.
It has been a while. It's the helmet of the Executioner that I got in the meantime. It looks really stupid. You might remember it because it's from a popular small video where people noticed when you use this helmet and you run down a set of ladder, the helmet will, visually clung to each and every, part of the ladder, but it will not produce a sound effect. So someone actually bothered to actually add the sound effect to see what it will sound like.
Was the executioner wearing a traffic cone on his head?
I was gonna say
drunk?
the golden traffic
That's
cone.
kind of the best part because I have, okay, not directly, but only partially,
How was he able to see who he was executing?
He's just used to it, bro. No, apparently, okay, between this and Dark Souls 3, a couple of, fake Dark Souls boss using images, profile images, pictures from Facebook or something like that, started popping up, and one of them was a guy with a traffic cone on his head, similar to this one, and a stop sign, complete with a long, metal bar attached to it. And apparently it was from an Italian profile picture for some reason. So I don't know who that lad was, but that was absolutely hilarious. I'll try to see if I can find a picture after we're done with the stream. Yeah, thank you, game. I remember that. I understand that. Let me use this time to resonate more. The community is still, dispersing more and more with each passing day. Not much more we can do about it, but I do remember that a couple of people still, hang around in this spot. So I do have hope that much with Triple H, we'll manage to find someone.
Today, I went to Birmingham to see in 4DX 3D the Mario Galaxy movie.
Fancy.
I'll get to my thoughts on the movie in a minute, but I could swear the fans that were on, since it has a wind effect, I swear the fans were louder than they were last time I went to a Cineworld 4DX place. I don't know if it's because Birmingham has more powerful fans than Telford.
Dave, it's a good thing you mentioned, if I were to specify, they were the mechanical fans, because otherwise I was thinking of a chicken jockey-like effect, and Mario fans were too loud in the theater.
And there were points where it kind of made the movie a bit hard to hear.
Bad acoustics, I get it.
Possibly. As for the movie itself, for the most part, I did enjoy it, but there were some aspects that did bother me.
I guess you will still take at the end of the day the Sonic movie is over it, much like you did
Yes.
the first movie. Okay.
Yes, I would. And there was one comparison joke I wanted to make, but
Spoilery.
I'm not sure if that would be a bit spoilery. I'll try and remember it for when we eventually do our commentary.
Yeah, considering its release date, it kind of works out for an April Fool's type of movie.
Yeah. But in terms of non-spoilery thoughts, there were some funny moments. The score was actually allowed to be a score this time, as the amount of pop songs were drastically cut back.
Oh no, so terrible.
Yeah. They actually allowed Brian Tyler to do his job properly this time. And the music itself was really good. The performances from the cast were solid. Two surprises in particular were Glenn Powell as Fox and Donald Glover as Yoshi.
Fred Fox.
But in my opinion, aside from one spoilery problem I had with it, the biggest problem with the movie is that I'm not sure if they were on a massive sugar rush when they wrote the script, but I don't think smushing 6 Mario games into one movie, even if it's just aspects of them, was a good idea.
Okay, I know that the major ones are supposed to be Mario 2 / Doki Doki Literature Club, It's a Dream and everything, and Galaxy. I know that from the trailer that Bowser Jr. has his Wonder transformation for some reason. What else? Okay, the ninjas were from 3D World, I think?
The ninjas were from 2.
Oh, right, we originated there, I forgot.
Yeah, among others.
Well, okay,
yeah, if you guys
originated from World, so yeah, I guess that counts too.
And yeah, what was your, in terms of like the references? What was your guys' main thing with the references in the first movie?
I was okay with them as long as, you know, they had more of a purpose, which for the first movie I argue they were for the most part, mostly because my expectations were set so low because of illumination alone that I was like, oh thank god that you don't have the Goombas be like the minions, you know.
And what about you, Shiri?
The references look pretty whatever to me. My main problem with the movie, which was only really one thing, is that, like, for a franchise that can afford to be, you know, like, as I said, like, off recording adventurous, it kind of just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It plays it so safe, and, like, you don't need to do that.
Well,
you're not the other franchise, guys.
Well, it's like they've heard your complaint and decided to ramp it up to the other extreme.
I'll see when I watch it. But, yeah.
Yeah, put it this way, it's like everyone at Illumination, and even the Nintendo people that were there, ate like, throughout the whole production, ate nothing but high sugar content.
I'm also, in general, a bit tired of the usual complaint that reference equals automatically funny. No, there's a reason why they do not work just as much as a reason, you know, they do work and everything. It's kind of an art.
Hell, the Sonic movies don't even do that too much.
Which is, again, this is what I mean why I said when instead I would have taken the Mario movie over the first 2 Sonic movies, because, again, for as much of, you know, almost jingling your keys in front of you in terms of reference to the Mario movie is, arguably still a better solid foundation, where instead the Sonic movie was way too scatterbrained, arguably in the second movie, and was slowly trying to get out of its ditch, including, you know, the director, Jeff Fowler, having to clearly fight tooth and nail against the Paramount executives, and in case of a Knuckles series, losing hard, you know.
But, yeah, overall, I still think the Sonic movies have a lot of things over these 2 Mario movies that we've had.
I will agree only partially, but mostly because on my end, it's all for the voice acting, because, as I mentioned a couple of times, for my country's dubs, the Sonic movies actually did allow the CGI characters to keep their game, you know, voice actors, while instead, for the Mario movie, celebrities for everyone, just like in the English dub. It's a massacre.
Well, like I said when we commentated on those, I don't really compare the 2 as a whole, because, like, they're not trying to be the same thing. Outside of the, like, you know, why is this one the one that's trying to do something different and you're not?
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of the Sonic movie, that's all I'll say about the Mario Galaxy film for now.
Yeah.
But I did see the trailer on the big screen for the Sonic 4 movie, and one thing I will say, so far
a Sonic trailer at the Mario movie showcase. What a maverick!
Is it a different? Is it a different trailer than the teaser we got recently?
No, it's the same one.
Okay.
I don't think I've had the chance to comment on it yet. I will say the US Sonic CD fan in me is very pleased.
I am also a US Sonic CD enjoyer, so yes, very good, very good.
Yeah, I mean, I do legitimately hope both soundtracks get representation in the movie?
Again, they're probably...
I imagine they would.
Yeah, if I had to guess, they'll probably do a mix and match of things. I still want to hope that for whatever confrontation Metal Sonic has in the movie, they keep the Stardust Speedway theme, since that has been more or less Metal Sonic's boss theme.
Which one?
JP, you know, the
yeah.
you know, the Brazilian laughter one.
Maybe we'll see what they do. I wonder if it'll be like, you know, with Sonic Triple Trouble 16 bits.
Well, that was a fan project. If you want to compare,
but it was a good idea what the guy did to basically combine both themes in one.
If you want to compare, you know, a product that actually used the US soundtrack, you know, Sonic Forces is a thing. I know that you.
Why did that have to be the rep we got?
You can't have nice things here.
And hell, in my opinion, even in Generations, in my opinion, in terms of remix quality, the US one was a bit weaker compared to the Japanese one. I know it was basically, okay, I wouldn't say cheating, but I know the Japan one had an advantage since Naofumi Hataya remixed his own song. But I would have thought Cash would have done something a bit better than that.
It depends also on the person that handled it. Smash Bros. Did had a couple of, you know, composition made by Western composer, particularly, for example, Gangplank Galleon 2, but also the final boss theme of Donkey Kong Country 2, remixed by Japanese composer, and they turned out to be fine. So, you know, it's all it all depends on the capacity.
I won't lie. I would love if someone tried to do a remix of the any of the US Metallic Madness music, especially the Good Future one with Armando Peraza going crazy on the bongos.
But nobody came. It seems that today everyone doesn't want to actually touch the game.
And hey, it's, you know, another thing about Sonic 4. Who the hell are they going to cast Ben Kingsley and Nick Offerman as?
Okay, my speculation is that if the movie goes the direction that they thought it would, as in Amy comes from a bad future and needs Sonic's help to actually fix that, Ben Kingsley might play a future version of Agent Stone.
Possibly.
We know that Jim Carrey has miraculously come back again. I do wonder if it's once again a case where they offered him more money for it, or he genuinely does the role at this point.
Either he really loves the role, or he's very bad at spending his money.
Those gambling debt slips will not pay themselves.
He's Jim Carrey, not Nicolas Cage. Well, actually, no. Nicolas Cage's thing wasn't gambling; it was
tax evasion.
Well, not evasion, but I don't know.
Why didn't they got him to play Yoshi?
I mean, okay. To be fair, like I said earlier, Donald Glover was a surprise, a pleasant one.
Yeah, just use the quote from Star Wars Episode 1.
I was going to say, on the topic of movies, but a very different kind of movie, can somebody tell me why we're getting a Backrooms movie?
Because, again, Shiri, the industry has learned nothing from the Slender movie. You know, what's this internet phenomenon been doing? Oh, just make a movie about it in, like, 5 or 6 years from now, and no matter if people actually stop caring by that point, you know, it would be a success.
Jeez.
Now, to be fair,
are we getting a movie based on that recent Japanese Subway game?
Now, to be fair, the Slenderman movie was also plagued by the fact that there were IRL factors in the meantime, where, you know, some bad stuff happened that tarnished, you know, the name of the creepypasta, and there's a lot of footage that was in the trailer that was cut away from the final product, and people don't know if it's because of the IRL stuff that happened, or if it's because the company, forgot which one, chickened out and they wanted a PG-13 release instead of an R-rated one. Needless to say, Joy King really, at that point, really needed to get a better agent. And if I recall correctly, from her career, trajectory, she got a better one eventually.
An interesting thing about the Backrooms movie, it's being directed by its creator.
I mean, why not? It's, again, we'll have to see if that works. It's kind of similar to how Ju-on the Grudge, even the American version was still allowed to retain the director of its Japanese counterpart.
Yeah, I can imagine it now. He's only 20 years old. He made a viral thing when he was like 16, and now he's directing a movie that's got Chiwetel Ejiofor in it.
I mean, to be fair, if something happens also tied to something like Lethal Company, it would be kind of similar to that. Because the creator of Lethal Company was very young when that exploded. It's quite a leap going from making a meme to making a film that has one of the best actors working today at the moment. If I recall correctly, outside of, most of Markiplier's influence, David Szymanski did have some level of creative consultants or approval for the Aaron Lang movie, so there's that too, but David Szymanski is clearly older than the creator of Backrooms.
Yeah, he's only been old enough to drink for 2 years.
Come back here, you piece of shit. Seriously, I still cannot take seriously the yowls of this guy. Again, couldn't they just hire one of the British voice actors to make some screams of anguishness? No, was it too hard? Were they titled Time?
We have very good screamers in our acting industry.
They could have just recycled one of the other VA that they have for the game,
But yeah, there's that. Oh, yeah, Exit 8. That was the thing I was thinking of.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of VTubers playing that.
It's so bizarre. The game only came out a few years ago, and already it's getting.
It's not even okay. It is technically a game on a technicality in a sense that it requires some deduction via observation in a puzzle-esque way, but more or less is okay. I wouldn't even call it a walking simulator because yes, that's what you do technically. But there is a component to what you do. You still need to make a decision with a consequence to it. So there is a level of interactivity rather than just being, like Gone Home, for example. But it's very simple in its making. But I guess people saw the potential of, it's a haunted place, so, it has the potential for being spooky, with minimal effort. Like, what's the deal with that and all?
I've seen Project Hail Mary as well.
Did you see The Martian in the meantime as well? Because it's from the same author of the same book.
Yeah. Well, when the writer isn't randomly slagging Star Trek.
Yeah, I know.
It's
much like with Zack Snyder, like he said, a lot of people really should not be allowed to be interviewed. They're gonna say stupid shit eventually.
Another film I'm seeing in the future is California Schemin'.
What is it about?
Two Scottish rappers who aren't taken seriously because they're rapping in Scottish accents, so they pretend to be from California and rap in American accents.
Okay.
That sounds so weird.
It's actually a real-life story.
Huh.
Yeah, it sounds very plausible enough to be a real story.
And it's James McAvoy's directorial debut.
Huh. Who is the writer?
Elaine Gracie and Archie Thompson. I don't know who they are.
I'll need to check myself.
not so much of a selling point this is, but it's got James Corden as a music executive.
Well, okay. As a music executive, it's a very specific kind of role for him. Like, I wouldn't have expected him to cover that.
So yeah, I also saw Ready or Not 2. It was enjoyable. Yeah, it was enjoyable, I thought. I think it was at least somewhat on par with the last film.
Does he still... Okay, I guess it does count as a spoiler, but does he still open up to future movies? Are we trying to franchise this shit?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I mean, if it does well enough, it'll probably...
Then again, the first movie did end on a conclusive note, and yet we still made a sequel, so... The fuck why not?
Yeah, I'm also planning on seeing Lee Cronin's as The Mummy.
We'll see what happens with that.
But honestly, in terms of April, that's really about it. I'm not sure about seeing the Michael Jackson biopic yet. At least not in cinemas. But yeah, in terms of films in April, that's really about it. Yeah, June's got Masters of the Universe.
Oh.
Scary movie, though.
Well, okay, I forgot they're rebooting Scary Movie.
Yeah, and it's from Paramount. Again, the guys who are still doing the Scream movies as well. So they're making a...
Spoof of a spoof.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it still handled by the Salzburg Hell combo?
No, it's the Wayanses.
Oh, well, if that's not reassuring.
There's also Disclosure Day, aka that trailer that is it supposed to be about an alien invasion? Because it has a bit where Emily Blunt's character's weather report gets hijacked by her speaking in clicks.
Okay. Maybe that's the secret tie-in to War of Awards 2025 wins.
The Supergirl.
Yeah, I saw a trailer actually of that one recently. It still confirms what I thought, at the beginning. Oh, it's, Star-Lord, but with Supergirl, instead. Actual Star-Lord and everything. And Jason Momoa as Lobo works out. Again, bless James Gunn for actually sticking to the idea of, keeping comic book accurate costumes.
Jackass 5.
I did not even know they were making that.
Apparently it's going to be the final installment.
For real.
But we'll see about that. June, that's about it. July, there's The Odyssey. That'll be a film I'm planning to see in IMAX.
Okay, that one we haven't seen a trailer fully yet, only a teaser. I think at least.
The hell's the Dink?
That sounds like an Australian, swear word.
And Spider-Man Brand New Day.
That we saw a trailer of that.
Well, this is an interesting sounding title. Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma?
Did Tommy Wiseau directed that?
No.
No, actually, no. Hold on, scratch that. Darman. That sounds the title of a Darman video.
Sounds like a weird, quirky slasher movie, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not going to be something I'm going to watch. Eli Roth's next film, Ice Cream Man.
Oh, it's a reboot of. I remember, the original movie, so I guess this is a reboot.
Coyote versus Acme.
Finally.
Legend of the White Dragon.
Don't remember that one.
It was what Jason David Frank was doing to move on from Power Rangers before he died.
Oh, okay.
September. Well, here's a very descriptive movie: How to Rob a Bank.
Simple to the point.
It's your YouTube tutorial.
Yeah. Can't ask for anything more direct than that. There's a Resident Evil, another
This
reboot.
time we'll try to get to actually work, we swear. Like, if at first you don't succeed.
Yeah, I appreciate them trying. October, the sequel to The Social Network that I'm sure everyone's looking forward to.
Still with no... Well, Deji has seen it recently and told me that he still liked it because he saw it when it came out but wanted to be absolutely sure, and apparently he still likes it.
Yeah, to each their own. Matchbox the movie.
I don't know what that is.
It's based off a toy line by Mattel and it's got John Cena in it.
It's a toy line called Matchbox. Is it about, a fire squad or something?
I don't know. Street Fighter.
Yeah, we saw trailers of that one too.
Clayface.
Oh, I forgot that you're getting a solo Clayface movie.
Yeah, it's out in October.
Well, it's okay, yeah, it does fit because Basil Hunteo, the name of the character, he's kinda like Lon Chaney, so, horror actor and all.
That's October. November.
Man, the direction for the initial roundup for the new DC, cinematic universe is so fucking weird. Creature Commandos, the Superman movie, Supergirl, and then Clayface. Also, the Green Lantern show, which just barely feels like a Green Lantern show. Or like, No Country for Old Lanterns. Oh,
well, in November, there's I Play Rocky from Peter Farrelly. Unexpected, the guy who made Dumb and Dumber to make a documentary about
the making of Rocky.
A docudrama about the making of Rocky. Another Meet the Fockers movie?
I think Robert De Niro at this point is way too old to do shitty. Are we gonna recycle once again the cat flushing the toilet? Because he got old the first time.
I don't know. There's the Narnia movie from Greta Gerwig.
Is it still handled by Netflix? I guess it's gonna get a limited theatrical release, but I remember the contract handled by that.
There's Violent Night 2.
Yeah, Jonah told us about that.
And oh boy, a battle of the two big blockbusters on December 18th: Avengers Doomsday and Doom Part 3.
Dunk 3. Or, considering the Roman characters, Duncy.
Angry Birds Movie 3.
Why?
And on Christmas Day, the Jumanji sequel.
Okay, again, that one, people... I do wonder if they're actually gonna have the natural conclusion and have the Jumanji, experience now being an actual app, because that seems to be the evolution that they take in, board game, video game, and will probably be the next, to go viral. If anything, that's the kind of franchise where it seems logical that the next step would be it goes to the internet. Even if I did not like the kind of explanation that they had for the sequel. Like, I get it, they wanted to do something different and try to have the experience of the characters actually, being in the world of Jumanji and everything. But the whole mentality of, lol, kids don't like tabletop games these days, feels very, kids and their phones, kind of, stale copy pasta.
I'm a bit conflicted on that Super Mario Galaxy movie. I did enjoy watching it, but there are several issues.
Well, pretty much like what the first movie was, so there is that.
I've heard some mixed things. So
Yeah, like I
I'll
won't
wait
go
to
in.
see it myself.
Same.
I won't go into it too much because of spoilers. But the one positive thing that I'll mention that isn't spoilery is that the jukebox songs have been extremely dialed down. It's like they remembered, gee, we've got a really talented composer and a massive treasure trove of awesome music to refer to. Maybe we should just use more of that.
Nah.
Use coconut mall, you cowards.
Gee, who knew?
That reminds me, I forgot because it's been more than a year since we did the 2023 movie. Like, did they actually use the part of the Rainbow Road, soundtrack when they were on Rainbow Road in the section of the movie?
I don't know.
I don't know. I won't say the exact joke, but remember the existential Luma?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw from
Yeah, I love them.
that the Luma is back as a
From
jailer.
the first movie.
Yeah.
They get the best joke, one of the better jokes in the movie.
Yay!
I won't say which one because. Yeah. And yes, in case you're wondering and haven't seen the movie yet, there are post-credit scenes,
Of course.
and that's all I'll say.
Like one in the middle and one at the end, or is it just like one or the other?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Like
I
the
like
one-
to know because otherwise I'll end up just looking it up when the credits are rolling. So
Fair enough.
Yeah. It even includes that scene that I wrote that got cut from the movie where Yoshi kills Toad by biting his head off, thinking he was an actual mushroom. It was a bit too gory for Illumination.
that's why I was at the end.
Clearly.
I could get away with it.
I guess what you can
Yeah.
tell us...
Most of the kids had left the cinema
let's
vibe.
open the door. I guess you can tell us in the meantime, please, is that did you think... stop throwing rocks at me. Did you think Chris Pratt's performance improved?
Yeah, I think it got a little better.
Alright. Again, I guess, it's a case where we're stuck with him at this point, might as well continue. Oh, giant... How is effective? Sorry for anyone arachnophobic that is watching this, but this section is a bit nasty. Let's just say that Patches was kind of, a preamble of where apparently some of the scholars got turned into spiders. Why? I don't fucking know.
Honestly, my thing isn't really spiders, just
No, but I know
trypophobia.
that it's I know that it's, it can be potentially common just so at least mentioning.
For audience sake.
Mm-hmm. I know that some companies kind of memed on it rather than actually be genuine about it. But there is, something that can be said about, someone trying to think about it in some manner.
And I beat speaking of Mario,
Yeah,
I have beaten the main campaign for Super Mario 3D World.
Oh,
I'm currently going through the World Star levels, and I've just unlocked Rosalina.
it's a good game.
Bowser's Fury? I am a bit into it, but I mean, to be honest, it's one of those more open world games where I'm having a bit of a hard time at getting into it.
I forgot, Dweebs, have you ever watched the Great Mission of Rescuing Princess Peach, the OVA from the 80?
No, I don't really plan to.
Okay, fair enough.
I've heard it's not very good anyway.
True, but I argue as a specimen of its time, should be fairly interesting. And thanks to some absolute madmen who actually found an actual canister of the original, film. Not even kidding. They managed to fully restore it in 4K and everything. So
That's really cool.
yeah, it really is, because I really don't understand at this point why Nintendo isn't doing anything.
I mean, they could redub it with the current cast that they've got.
Well, considering how bizarre that movie is, I argue the people that they have might not fit well. But
Although on that subject, is Bowser in it?
Yes.
Oh God, Kenny James is because Kenny James, the guy who currently does Bowser's voice, he's done it since 2005, and the voice knackers his throat at the best of times. Can you imagine him doing that for a whole movie?
Well, it's not too long, and while Bowser has a fairly speaking role, it's actually fairly straightforward. Bowser's personality in the OVA is what you can expect, and also similar to the Illumination movie, where, you know, he's genuinely in love with Princess Peach, and kidnapping her is not just a matter of a power move, but because he's genuinely in love, even if it's not, you know, corresponded.
What is that guy doing?
I was doing a taunt. Starting with Dark Souls 2, the developers got onto the fact that some players loved to spam taunts after killing a player in PvP, so we programmed some specific NPC to do exactly that after they defeat you. Just to, which to be fair, it's kind of a neat way to inject some of their personality into it with a simple command. So I kind of dig it, even if it can get frustrating immediately.
Ow. The bell-ringing woman rings a sinister bell.
Cool story,
Wow.
sis.
Now, I'd have thought the bell-ringing woman is actually just shaking one of those little tiny bell things you see when announcing that tea's ready.
I mean, to be fair, Dweebs, at least it's not that particular. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. At least it's not that particular audio cue sign that they have in Japan to represent the sunset. You know, the one that you hear constantly in anime. That sounds almost like a scream or a crow. Yeah, it's this color that I need to defeat. I don't know what he's doing, what Bro is doing here, but yeah.
That sounded like a baby crying.
There you go. Oh no, yeah, and this is what I think I mentioned in one of the previous parts of Shiroi. Again, you might have picked up that after we defeated Rom, the Vacuum Spider, you start hearing this baby crying everywhere. This is because it's connected to this nightmare. We have seen scriptures from the scholars of Mensis that have mentioned about, you know, an infant great one. Meaning that potentially that one potentially resides in this place. Alright, let's check this box. What's in the box? Yellow backbone. More item for the randomly generated dungeons that we don't need. Woeful pity. Pitiful, really. I mean, I guess. Alright, this particular section of the nightmare contains these people, which seems to be having an helmet concealing their faces. And these initial ones are fairly easy to handle, because they need to get very close to you, but they can also get staggered fairly easily. But you will see soon enough that they can potentially, you know, be more problematic. Alright, there's an elevator here. I don't remember if it unlocks a specific shortcut. Right, this one. Yes, it unlocks a shortcut to the lantern, so I don't have to do the section with the spiders again. Yeah, there you go. Cool stuff. So in the meantime, I might as well start asking you, because I'm just really that curious, Shirei. Again, since you mentioned in one of the previous parts that Alice, and to an extent also partially you, no, well, mostly Alice have started, you know, Final Fantasy XIV.
Yes.
I want to know some more detail, like what class did she chose, what city did she started in, and all.
She changes class pretty often, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, but usually the game basically asks you like a questionnaire at the beginning to, you know, understand what kind of, you know, experience you want to play, and asks you what kind of initial weapon type do you like, and puts you in one of the city-states of Eorzea, specific according that has one of the minor, in-universe skills that help you, progress through that weapon. You can change it at some point later, but usually they demand you that you start with that. For example...
Scholar, White Mage, Dragoon.
Oh, goody, so she started in Gridania, just like me. Basically the forest stuff, that's really neat.
Oh, she started as a paladin.
Oh, that instead means, if I recall correctly, then Limsa Lominsa, I guess.
She said she regretted that choice.
I mean, yeah, the tank and the healer are the most, the roles in the MMO that nobody wants to do, but someone has to,
She's also a rabbit, of course.
Of course, yeah, they were introduced with Shadowbringers, so, it's a late addiction, but they managed to implement so you can be one from the beginning. Go.
She's been going through Shadowbringers at the moment.
Oh, goody. It's actually one of the better expansions, so...
I think she found the last one pretty mid.
Stormblood, yes. Okay, I don't hate it as much as the internet, wanted to clown on it. It was a bit of a step down compared to Heavensward, in my opinion. And
I remember she liked the post game stuff for that expansion a lot more than the actual story itself.
Yeah, I can agree with that. The Ivalice raids, the challenges with equivalents to the Chinese mythical beast and all. But again, I did not have too much of a problem with Stormblood's campaign, but like I said, a bit of a step down compared to Heavensward. And, for those who have...
She's really enjoying Shadowbringers, though.
About Dawn, wasn't Dawn Trail also kind of not met?
Yeah, so far...
Isn't that later?
Yes, it's after Endwalker. It's currently the most recent one, which is about to basically be concluded because the latest patches that are supposed to arrive a few days from when we're recording. It set up the last set of main quests before they announce the next expansion. I will not go into detail because that will be spoilers, especially for Alice. But I will say that yes, Dawn Trail was the least liked expansion up until this point. And I can agree to an extent. As usual, when it comes to these days, a lot of people on the internet took it way too much, but it's possibly also because Shadowbringers and Endwalker had raised the standards way too high, potentially. And there was also the campaign against one specific voice actress, so I will not technically count into that because that's just, meandering that has no real place. No, when it comes to actual criticism to the expansions, I can see that because they structured it in a way that it's not as interesting as a type of story, because compared to the previous expansions where you were going on a relatively high-stake journey with people that you were caring about, for most of Dawn Trail you're basically stuck babysitting a bunch of new characters introduced for a new fresh start, but that I argue do not have the same bite that your previous companions would have. But to be fair, this seems a couple of people agree with it. The later patches seems to have, improved overall, and we'll have to see how things go for the next expansion. It would be possibly vital for the state of the game, because we'll have to see if it's has the same kind of reception that Dawn Trail got. It might genuinely potentially kill the game, because the game has already started bleeding players, unfortunately. And as a reminder, that is currently Square Enix's biggest cash cow right now. So,
So they probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
But yeah, I had to ask her a bunch of those questions because I couldn't quite remember. So.
It's fine. Alright, if I recall correctly...
I know some keywords.
I also really enjoy more the British voice cast than the American one. Like, again, I was okay with what they were doing, but the British voice cast really gives it a bit of an extra flair, particularly voice actors for characters like Alfinod.
Because I know that, I know Dawn, well, sort
Dawn
of
Trail
Endwalker, but I know...
introduced a couple of American VAs into the mix,
Yeah,
so...
Dawn Trail did bring back some Americans to the cast. One of them's funny enough. One of them's Erica Mendes, who was a massive 14 fangirl.
There are also some British VA that we know, we have already seen, like, I forgot her name. She also, if I correctly, voiced a character in these Souls-like games, but a voice actress that voiced the florist, the flower seller from Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney, the one that turns out to be the culprit, in the first witch trial. She voices Tataru in 14, and she really fits the role. Also, yeah, you might have started to notice, because this is a Nightmare TM, now we have swapped animal parts. We have crows with the head of a dog, and bodies of dog with the face of crows, which gives an interesting mix-up in how they behave. There you go. Spiked. No, because of a couple of different reasons, I did started getting back up to 14 myself, because it had been, reason that it was way too long. It had been way too long since I stopped playing. Like, I knew already what the story was going, but I generally wanted to perceive it myself. More properly, and again, it really is a good time. The problem is that, again, being an MMO, it has a lot of content and a lot of text to read, so it really is impractical for our recurring purposes. But like we mentioned a couple of times, there are some story arcs that are neat, another shortcut, that are neat into being extrapolated, like, for example, the Hildebrand side quest, which is basically just a set of investigations that lean much more on comedy. Of course, it's also the type of side quest that brings back my sweet cheese, my good time boy Gilgamesh, so I'm kind of biased to that. Alright, I think we're about to get to the boss fight that I was mentioning before, if I recall correctly.
Alice keeps calling me Estola.
I mean, yeah, you kind of fit. Yeah, there are these puppets, marionettes, enemy, but they're not too big of a deal. And I think I need to enter... Oh, I just said that it wasn't too big of a deal. God fucking damn it.
Don't say things.
Yeah, I'm jinxing it. Get to right there. Okay, that's where the room for the shortcut. I just need to book it.
We actually have a release date for Rhythm Heaven now.
Yeah. Again,
I think it was sometime in July.
Yeah, July. They kind of just, dropped it like that. I was expecting potentially another, direct not too long from, now, but instead we just probably decided to just drop it like that, which we'll have to see. Again, I still have, I'm positive that the final game will be fine.
Yeah.
On internet.
And the internet will implode in 2 weeks when the girlies get a hold of Tomodachi Life.
Of course. They actually, one of my friends in my country already tried the demo and showcased during a party we were having the other week. Yeah, it was quite the experience, especially because we discovered the best possible way that the game doesn't censor any profanity with
No, it doesn't! It's great!
you can't. Yeah, I can't call my rival in Pokemon Leaf Green Shaggy.
Dweebs, it gets worse. For some reason in the seated duellum, to go back to Square Enix, I cannot type my regular name because the letters AV, if they stand together, you know, are considered, you know, profanity because from what I understand they represent, you know, acronym for adult video in Japan.
No.
I was just
First time it actually happened to me, 25 years.
I was calling him Shaggy because of you know, his sprite reminds me of Shaggy off Scooby Doo, but apparently because it has Shag in it, I can't.
Kos. Or some say Kosm.
I love how this guy talks.
We shall not abandon the dream. No one can catch us. No one can stop us now.
This deranged gentleman here, I love he just strolls exit stage right. Because
You have a cage on your head, sir.
it's fine, it's a fancy hat. Alright, so, this is Micolash, the host of a Nightmare, and his entire gimmick is that he constantly, you know, there you go, runs away from you, fucking bastard, and to basically catch him up, or potentially bait him into going to a room where he cannot escape from. There are two specifically, so you need to keep following him until he accidentally traps himself into one of it. Eventually will actually go down there. Otherwise he will just teleport or use one of the mirrors that are present in some of the corridors to teleport. So can do this all day, you know. So in the meantime, Dweebs, can you check who Micolash is voiced by?
How do you spell it?
It's right up on top of the L bar.
There you go.
Surprisingly not with a K but with a C. If you think it would be something like Nicholas, but no, this has to be fancy.
Two guys, Ryan Gage and Stephen Elliott.
I guess one of them might have provided the battlegrounds, I guess.
Or they just did a thing where they both voiced him at once.
And yes, by the way, again, that Cage is very, very real. He's you know...
He was a voice of a few characters in Final Fantasy XIV, Heaven's Sword and Shadowbringers.
Mm-hmm. It's not the last time, just occasion we're gonna get something like that, Dweebs, because in Elden Ring, one of the major players, in terms of, you know, bosses that you will have to fight at some point in the game, is voiced by Anthony Howell, who has a role starting by the very end of Shadowbringers and towards Endwalker. Remind me, Shiri, at what point Alice is now in 14?
She hasn't played in a little bit because she's currently trying to make a fursuit, so...
Fair enough.
And that takes all the time.
yeah, I can imagine. Art and dedication. Basically, he plays a character that starts appearing towards the tail end of Shadowbringers, so... It is kind of cool, actually, that that they got him for a role, because, again, without having to say, I think it fits. We'll say spoilers, basically. Okay, I think my controller is a bit finicky because I'm not as snappy as I used to be. To be fair, I haven't really played on PS4 in a while, so... Okay, now this is just the first phase, and now I think he's gonna start rambling.
Oh, majestic!
Yeah.
A hunter is a hunter, even in a dream. But alas, not too fast. The nightmare swirls.
Whatever you say, buddy.
you be normal?
I mean, this is a civilization of people who are very close-minded and started worshipping outer gods and turned themselves into beasts for the sake of, drinking blood. I don't think at any point most of these people are qualified as quote-unquote normal. Let's see, did he teleport there? Yes. Yep. Alright, now he locks himself accidentally inside that room and we need to get up there instead. Oh, behave, marionette. Which, if I recall correctly, I need to jump down in it from above. Yeah, I think from not here, but instead.
As you once did for the vacuous
Yeah, I think here.
us eyes. Eyes on our brains to cleanse.
If only.
But don't you already have eyes?
Not enough. That's the thing, Glimpse. Not enough.
John, you're a greedy fuck.
You're never too knowledgeable. It's literally a case of, to be fair, you need a fairly high IQ to understand this. Which, to be fair, it's not that much different from, just the idea of pursuit of knowledge, having you, find places where you shouldn't, or learning things that you shouldn't.
So recently, I've seen the Mortal Kombat 2 movie.
So again, we really haven't even commented on the 2021 movie. So how was it, without saying too much spoilers?
It did take a little while to get going, but I did enjoy my time with it overall.
Fair enough. How was Karl Urban as Johnny Kage?
Oh, he was one of the best parts of the movie.
I guess you can tell it's one of those roles that Karl Urban enjoy playing, similar to Dread.
Yeah, plus, as like I said, I get what they were going for with Cole in the first movie and trying to be an audience surrogate.
Mm-hmm.
But really, Johnny Cage was a prime example for that in the first place.
Or, Liu Kang. But, I know that he's kind of been the joke of the franchise for a while, but it still kind of pisses me off that, a lot of movies treated him not very great. I guess that was one of the other voice actor that they used.
Well.
And in case you forgot, we got here by touching his corpse, so it's gonna wake up only to realize that he's dead. Wah, wah.
You just poke a dead body.
In his dying dream. Starting to get Eternal Sonata flashbacks. And defeating Micolash raises the bridge that we couldn't pass before, meaning that it's not like we unlocked technically a shortcut, but we can progress further into the nightmare.
The golden traffic cone is looking extra shiny today.
The best thing about it, if you notice the model, it doesn't even have a visor to have the eye potentially see through fissures or anything.
No, it's just a cone.
Yeah, I mean, I can't honestly. I can't even. Sometimes I can't even tell if they're facing behind him or not.
It's Pyramid Head, clearly. Alright, we got as a result the cage that Micolash was having on top of his head, so let's give it a look-see in the meantime.
Onward, punk! Oh!
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Finding his way based on vibes, just...
Yeah.
There you
Um,
go. The School of
yeah.
Mensis controls the unseen village. This hexagonal iron cage suggests their strange ways. The cage is a device that restrains the will of the self, allowing one to see the profane world for what it is. It also serves as an antenna that facilitates contact with the Great Ones of the Dream. But to an observer, the iron cage appears to be precisely what delivered them to their harrowing nightmare. Deep shit, man.
But yeah, Liu Kang was pretty much the main character of the first movie. The second one, he was, well, I mean, to be fair, he was as dumb as everybody else. And okay. I mean, in terms of the first reboot movie, I do remember Kano, mainly because
He was
his
entertaining.
Australianness.
And
Yeah, and he
again,
was entertaining.
the actor clearly had fun for the role as well.
Yeah. And I don't think the movie is particularly memorable, but I remember it being just, bang average.
The 2021 movie also, I argue, treats Sonya very poorly because of the whole deal with, oh, you need the special mark to be a participant in the Mortal Kombat tournament, which was a thing that the games never really established.
I don't even think they do that in the.
They just plainly don't
in
reference. They just forget. It's kind of like the Unobtainium in the James Cameron's Avatar sequel, I guess. We just, pretend it never happened. Bloodstone chunk.
Yeah. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 2. I can definitely say it's better than Annihilation in terms of being a sequel to the first movie.
I mean, do they kill one of the previous game characters? Okay, no, I cannot ask you because, it's a spoiler, because, Annihilation, for those who don't remember or haven't seen the movie, starts literally by killing one of the characters from the first movie, almost immediately. It's really, really tasteless when you get down to it.
Again, I won't say anymore.
Yeah.
The rest of it's
Thus, I won't
spoilery.
ask. There you go. This unlocks another shortcut.
What else did I see? I have to check the.
The difference with this cage is that you might notice that the door is open, which is a hint that you can actually jump midway. It's a bit tricky, but you can do it to another shortcut, which I don't think I have to take right now. But it is useful for dealing with whatever entity was responsible for making me lose my sanity on my way to get here. But I don't really remember if I had to confront it or not.
I also saw the 40th anniversary re-release of Highlander.
So how was it? Did you remember when we commented back on it?
Yeah, I remember I didn't enjoy it very much the first time around.
So what about this re-release?
Still got a couple of issues with it, but I did enjoy it a bit more.
I don't remember how much Clancy Brown's performance as the villain is.
Oh, he's one of the
highlights.
You can definitely. Yeah. He's aware of what kind of movie he's in.
Fair enough. Again, for those who don't know or just used to him voice acting, Clancy Brown used to be in a lot of weird movies, particularly in the 80s, like Pet Sematary 2. Recently he has been, I think, in the Book of Boba Fett. One of the things that they don't really, people who haven't really watched a lot of the Star Wars recent series know is that there's quite a bit of talent involved. Of course, the major one that one knows is Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian and Giancarlo Esposito as instead Moff Gideon. But instead, we got again people like Clancy Brown for, the Book of Boba Fett, if I recall correctly. Sigourney Weaver is starring in by the time we're recording, upcoming The Mandalorian Grogu movie. And of all things, Jaleel White is one of the pirate villains in Skeleton Crew for some reason. Oh, this pig is completely ignoring me. Yeah, die. Before the Count Dungeon was found, this was the more ideal route to farming, Blood Echoes, because the pig was netting you a decent enough amount, but and you could just respawn at the lantern very quickly, in order to farm him, literally farming a pig enemy. I know the irony is completely lost. Alright, if I recall correctly. Going down here, I think unlocks another shortcut, but I had to be absolutely sure. There you go. I don't really need any more because if I recall correctly, I did manage to upgrade my weapon to the max in the meantime, so we're pretty much set up in terms of stats and equipment. I mean, to be fair, again, this is basically the end game, so... Alright, let's see. Yeah, this is also one occasion where previous bosses return in some capacity, like the Shadows or Yarnam, in this case. Thankfully, since I'm... Oh, fuck. But if I recall correctly, since I killed the bell ringing woman, I should be able to not have the enemies respawn.
I saw the Devil Wears Prada 2 the other day.
Right, if I recall correctly, you mentioned that you did like the first movie.
Yeah, it was pretty alright. There were quite a few good jokes in there, but it was pretty unfocused,
Okay.
I'll say. It kind of had like the soap opera issue where they have way too many plots going on.
Oh, wow.
And, well, they did resolve them, to be fair, but also you could also just kind of forget that they were there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was enjoyable enough, but yeah.
Does it feel like the classic type of legacy sequel that feels it was made pretty much for a cash grab, in this case out of, Searchlight Disney? Similar bit to Freakier Friday, kinda, sorta, where even if it's not bad, you can tell that you could have lived without it, basically.
I don't know.
Okay.
Because, I don't think the movie needed to exist, but also it didn't feel like they were just doing it for a cash grab. I don't know how to explain it.
Sure, I'll trust you. Especially because I only know the first movie via pop culture osmosis and a basic idea what it's like, but I haven't seen it. And on a subsequent note, I kinda might have a Mandela effect because I need to know this, I haven't bothered to check. Is Meryl Streep's character still played by her in the first movie, or was she played by Glenn Close instead?
What, in the first movie?
Yeah. Or was she always played by Meryl Streep? Because I seem to remember this Mandela effect of, she was playing a character similar to how she played Cruella in the live action, 101 Dalmatians.
I think the cast is the same, but I'll have to check.
I'll ask also Dweez when he returns, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know, IMDb says Meryl Streep.
Okay, then, yeah.
For the first movie.
Fair enough. Down here, there you go. Alright, that's where I am back. Yeah, now you're gonna see in a second I'm being attacked by more Shadows of Yarnam. And if I recall correctly, the guy with the scimitar is actually down there, or a saber. I don't remember what specific type of weapon he is. There you go. Now on to the guy that keeps spewing flames. Alright, if I recall correctly, going up here... Yeah, more Shadows of Yarna down here, and if I remember correctly, this is the route I came for. Yeah, more pigs, okay. No. Hi. There you go. Dispatched. Alright, this character. You're gonna see her in a second, Shiri. This character is the Tumerian Queen, and she's pointing us to the location of the next boss. What's the significance? We already seen this character when we defeated Rom. It's been a while, but if you can remember, she's connected to the bigger lore, which I'm gonna basically give a dump after we beat the game, basically. So be patient for when that will happen. For the time being, there's another chest here. Oh, and it contained Yolevka's blood? That makes no sense. And with this I also unlock another shortcut, which makes me bypass completely the Shadows section. It's also for the better because, again, with the whole grant us eyes kind of thing, a couple of his enemies tend to putting a lot more eyes than they should have, so I'm also making an effort to not showcase them that much. Honestly, if I recall correctly, Elden Ring doesn't really have that particular problem outside of one boss fight in the DLC, which I will warn you in advance because part of the process literally involves doing stuff with your eyes that you shouldn't do. So I will make sure to mention right before we get to it, which is kind of a shame because the boss is cool, but right before doing that is, you know, kind of mean. But honestly, the real challenge with that will be the particle effects. It's not a prerogative of every single, you know, encounter, but a lot of the dragons in particular loved to have multicolor beams. So we'll have to see how that can be handled or not. But again, to be fair, there's the other route that we can do. The thing is that it's one of the more, I wouldn't say challenging, but more like painstaking sections of the entire game, where the enemies like the Winter Lanterns also reside, meaning that to be effective enough, I will have to try to, you know, run away from them rather than defeating them. Alright, which means that I have to use this cage elevator. Fuck!
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, it's a bit finicky trying to get inside the window.
Yeah, parkour isn't their strong suit.
Again, it's, I mentioned a couple of times, it's kind of revolutionary the fact that Elden Ring gives us a dedicated jump button. And to be fair, the platforming that it does involve actually works out, so, you know, the very least they did manage to make it work instead of being just a pointless gimmick. Alright, try. Next try.
Can somebody deal with that baby?
That's what the next boss is basically gonna be, but Fuck!
Why are we walking towards a crying child in a game like this? You're just asking for death.
Well, again, as I mentioned, this is called the Nightmare of Mensis, but we don't really know who this Memphis is kinda is. So, oh, sorry, Mensis. Memphis is a fucking city. My bad. I mean, I don't know how the conditions in in IRL Memphis are, but I hope it's not as the stories that people tell about Detroit or Cleveland. Alright, I forgot. If I die be too many times, my character actually does a bit of a rage emote as soon as I get back my echoes. I forgot about this. Fair. I'm sorry, Basil. But I don't remember. Fuck! A comedy of errors. So, how has been your experience instead with Tomodachi Life, Kiroi?
I have been living vicariously through other people.
Of course, the Korean drama is real.
Yes, much like the first time around. Like, with the original game, it's more so I could just never get a copy. This time, it's because I recently bought another full-price Nintendo game, so I'm waiting a little bit before I get it. And also, Nintendo didn't consider how well this game would actually do, so getting a physical copy is kind of a bitch.
Classic Nintendo.
Same with Pokopia. They keep underestimating the cozy girlies. Like, no. Also, I realized that this whole thing is very reminiscent of one of the black space scenes that Basil does go through. He literally gets decapitated by an elevator. This is too on the nose.
Cycles of guilt and everything. It all comes back to I Divine Cybermancy somehow.
We're putting him through it again, repeatedly.
It's almost over. Again, the only other major hurdle is really just the Orphan of Kos, because I'm very confident I'm much more able to get around to the final bosses. Yes, plural. Fuck! I will do it. If there's something that this game teach, and I'm particularly good at is that I'm kind of stubborn on it, and since we have still the time, might as well. That might as well also ask you instead another question, because I don't think I ever asked you this in particular. Since you're part of roleplay groups, do you use physical dices or a digital one?
Depends. Because I do use physical dice, but I have to use my phone's magnifier to read them.
Fair enough, but you do possess them, is what I meant, basically.
Oh yes, we have plenty.
Okay. Because one common thing that the Lovecraftian myths also have, which we might see sooner or later if I manage to get to record... Sundered, is the geometrical figure of a trapezohedron. And in case you wonder what the fuck is that kind of, polygonal figure, it's a D10.
Okay.
Basically. It's in that kind of shape. A bit diamond-like, so a bit more elongated, but it has that kind of structure to it.
I have one particular set that I can't read at all, but it's just a very... It was from, like, a blind bag. I don't know what the actual term for it is, but they look like underwater mines.
Oh, yeah, I get it, because,
the big spiky ball thing.
Because they need to be read in that specific way, makes sense.
And they're legit very sharp.
Damn. Actual hazard. There you go.
They just look cool. There we go.
Finally, getting the fucking corridor, Shinji.
We are dice hoarders, both me and Alice. We have a bit of a problem.
No, I get it. As long as they look cool and everything, I get it.
Yes.
The RP group that I do know here in my country basically has the same kind of thing. Every time we go to a con, they do see there are, offers for actually set of dice that they think they might look cool. So...
Do you do the thing where you have a set per character that you have played?
No, I don't. So far, I've been relying on digital dices for myself.
Yeah.
But I might still get, one eventually just for funsies because, they do look cool and, it will be less of a hassle for people to actually, give to me theirs in case we do need to be on a physical level.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Oh, fuck. The Winter Lantern saw me. I'm basically gulping down the sedatives. Like I don't think it's particularly good for my health, but go on.
No, not at all. I do have one set that I also don't use. You can use them, but it's more like I'm kind of just afraid to. They're made from cat's eye.
Oh wow.
Gemstone.
Yeah. I know. I kind of know what that is. It's kind of similar to the not tracing, but the terminology that's similar to the one particular type of salami that is done in my country, which is called Felino, because it's from a town that is called Felino, but it's not actually made with cats. Common misconception. Okay, I think it's actually now. If I pull this lever, if I recall correctly.
The baby will stop crying.
No, the baby is still attached to instead to the other boss. Here, out of nowhere, if I recall correctly, yes, I actually dropped down the being that was actually causing me madness on the way here, which is another eldritch being. Now, if I recall correctly, I can potentially... Oh, fuck. I can go down back to whence I came from in order to actually make contact with and get a great rune, but we will not do that. Not only I don't really need it, but it's basically a giant brain that is filled with eyes, so we're not doing that. But the good news again is that at the very least we took this out of the way, and if I remember correctly, if I go down there... is there another Winter Lantern that I do not... Yes, there is! Fuck! And if I remember correctly, there shouldn't be more Winter Lanterns around this part. Because, yes, this is where instead the brain would have caused mass damage if I actually passed by. And it's chock full of people dropping grade 1's wisdom, which raises the hindsight immensely. So... Okay, nothing here. And if I recall correctly, by getting instead... Here, I unlock another shortcut using the iron door key, which leads me back to Micolash boss room arena, basically, so... We're basically square down with that. Also more gems, which I don't think I really need at this point. I think again my weapon is tuned at best. Let me check again just to see. Yeah, it's a plus 10, so, maxed out. Because this is actually one of the few places where instead you can get the shiny onto the floor down there. Is actually one of the few very rare instances of occasions where I can get one of the one item that you need to upgrade a weapon to plus 10. So the game is basically very parsimonious with that, so that it asks you to take a choice in what kind of weapon do you want to specialize. I think I mentioned in one of the early parts, but obviously it's basically the opposite side of the coin of Dark Souls 2, which instead showered you with that. So by the time of Dark Souls 3, they balanced that, and by Elden Ring, you had so many weapons to choose from that it was kind of needed that you would need multiple, sources for your upgrade materials. So it was better justified in context, because again, it cannot be understated just how fucking massive Elden Ring is. And to be fair, it is a project that basically encompassed almost every single person in From Software at the time. It's basically considered a magnum opus for the time being. So we'll have to see if what they managed to produce next. Again, this is why I'm kind of interested, at least in Duskbloods. Sure, it probably won't be as magnificent or bigger in scope, but I am, optimistic about it.
Yeah.
And who knows, with our luck, by the time this part gets publicized, there have been another Nintendo Direct which, tells about its release date or something. Who knows? Probably not anytime soon because, Nintendo for now is releasing stuff like Rhythm Heaven in July, if I recall correctly.
Splatoon Raiders is June, pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't remember.
The Fun Adventures with, forgot the
Deep
name.
Cut.
Deep Cut, thank you, the big trio.
We'll probably know about a Nintendo Direct sooner than later because we already have like Summer Games Fest stuff coming in at the time of this recording.
Yeah,
now.
Early to late June tends to be rich in terms of being a period of game announcements and even outside of conferences and all. So why not? We'll probably see or hear something about it. Probably just a dedicated Nintendo Direct because outside of some specific cases, Nintendo doesn't tend to do much in terms of being present at other conferences. Mostly would be maybe just for a DLC announcement, like it happened with Smash games, but otherwise they tend to reserve themselves. Anyway, might as well, do it now. Let's confront the baby. Right in their carriage to boot.
I guess you could call it a boss baby.
Well, fortunately, we don't have to confront the baby directly, but of all things, their wet nurse.
What?
I'm not proud of that joke, by the way.
You're just in time, Liz. Which is a vulture, an invisible-headed vulture with multiple arms? What? Am I drunk again or something? This is
our player character's going through it, so...
Again, at this point of the game, we have seen some shit already, so...
Yeah.
Again, this is called Murgo's Wet Nurse. Don't ask. And throughout this entire fight, by the way, the baby will keep crying because, of course, we can't disturb his nappy, so... Again, by the way, if you played your card in a specific way, this is considered the final boss of the game. Thankfully, it's not the case for us, but depending on the circumstances, which I will reveal when we get to the end of the game, this might be genuinely the last major encounter that you have. And I have to say, for a final boss for a route, it's kind of a bit of a wet fart, admittedly. It's not particularly easy, obviously, but... I've seen, in our condition, especially with the DLC practice behind us, it's still fairly doable. But again, that's kind of the beauty of it. The Souls-like games tend to have the effect of having, because the players have to confront so many different monstrosities of shapes and sizes and, different varying degrees of difficulty. The games, by proxy, tend to forge very badass motherfuckers when it comes to, dealing with obstacles. Alright, towards its, while it's about to die, the wet nurse does her favorite trick, party trick. Cast the arena in shadows and clone herself multiple times to try to, you know, kill you.
Great.
Fuck. It's a temporary effect, so it's recommended we don't go to the offensive instead just dodge the attacks. Like, this is where the boss is at its most dangerous anyway, so as long as you manage to, you know, rally yourself properly, you should be able to be fine. Come back here. There you go, done. And pay attention to the sound again of the baby. There you go. And we get another piece of third of an umbilical cord. So, fun times. Alright, that's pretty much it for this part. We basically conquered the Nightmare of Mensis, my bad. So, next part, we'll see we finally managed to defeat the Orphan of Kos, and then we can finish the actual game. So, stay tuned for the epic conclusion. See ya!
See it.